Hey students, Dr. Gatling here. Just want to spend just a couple of minutes talking about some key points relative to the syllabus. Not going to go through the whole syllabus. You can read that at your leisure. But I do want to just talk about a couple of things here. In terms of the textbook, I actually used two different textbooks to draw from for this particular course, and Sage was kind enough to customize a textbook for us. Um, I borrow from not only a leadership textbook by Norhouse, but also an organizational behavior textbook that was written by Terry Scandor. So you will see two different sort of books embedded within the custom book. Let's see here. For those of you who downloaded the syllabus early, you may have seen something different here relative to um, Google Classroom. I think I had Scoops listed before, but we're going to use Google Classroom, as you know, to host lectures and discussions and so forth. There's a great mobile app that you can download that will really make it, I think, uh, mobile friendly for you to engage the class on your phone or your tablet. Um, in terms of the weekly modules, I will um, open up a new sort of discussion thread or module um, on Google Classroom every week. So you will see those post either Sunday night or early Monday morning. In terms of the weekly flow, there's a quiz that I want you to take. It's only, I think, 25 questions. Um, but I would like you to take that, you know, um, after you've read the chapter, gone through the online lecture, um, but before you post to the discussion board, because we want the post to be reflective of the content and the theory that we're discussing in any particular week. So you'll see detail on that in the actual syllabus here. There's a paper that's going to be due um, on February the 7th, and basically a philosophy paper. We'll talk about that in a second. The first exam is going to be the week of February the 8th. It'll cover the first 5 chapters. And then the second part of the course is really going to be focused on human dynamics and organizational leadership or organizational change, culture, and also stress, in the organizational context. And there'll be another paper that will be due February the 28th. Sorry, February the 28th. This will be a group paper. So more to come on that as we go through the syllabus. Sorry. You'll see the grading scale in the syllabus pretty straightforward there relative to what the points are worth and the grading scale. The quizzes are going to open up on Mondays and close on Sundays at 11:59. So feel free to take that anytime you'd like. 25 questions. You got a 30-minute limit. You can take the quiz twice, okay? But it will post points for the last attempt only. So if you do well the first time, you may not want to take it the second time, but it's totally up to you. Um, let's see, exams, the papers. Okay, so the philosophy paper. Really want you to, leadership is um, such a fluid topic. It's so broad and it's defined in so many different ways. But I want you to think very critically about your personal philosophy of leadership. Norhouse talks about leadership as a process. His philosophy is that leadership is a process. My personal philosophy tends to be more a combination of traits as well as skills. I think that my experience in the corporate world has really shaped the way that I think about leadership, the way that I approach the topic. But I want your paper to be something that, or a philosophy that's derived from the way you think and how you perceive leadership to be. So please personalize it, use your experience, as well as the theory that we're going to discuss and other theories. There's so many different ways to look at leadership. In terms of the critical issues paper, I'm going to put you into groups, and I want you to answer these questions in your papers, more specifically about the human dynamics involved in critical issues in hospitality. I've done a lot with organizations relative to these issues, and I really would love to hear your thoughts and experiences, and to see how you apply the course theory to these particular topics. There's a lot going on right now with food and beverage in terms of health. There are an increasing number of organizations that are asserting their faith in the workplace, which is a topic that I research on and that I engage companies about. This whole notion of pressure can create stress, particularly in publicly traded companies. I've experienced it. You may be experiencing it or have experienced it at some point in your careers, and I certainly would want to hear about your thoughts relative to stress and pressure. And then group 4 will talk about medical tourism and the explosion that's occurring, but more specifically, how medical tourism might affect the culture within the host country. I think that leadership is an important element in medical tourism, and one that is getting a lot of attention by organizations, but now even by researchers. So if you have any questions about either one of these writing assignments, feel free to shoot me a message about that. There is a lot of detail here relative to the purpose of the assignments, the skills, the critical thinking skills that I want to see reflected in the papers. There's a great deal of detail here about the task and specifically what's required. I've got a writing rubric in here that gives you, some very detailed points about how I'm going to assess the papers. So it should be pretty clear in terms of what I'm looking for. There is a rubric in the syllabus as well for discussion grading. I'm not going to grade every post every week. I will come back and periodically reflect on post or read post and assign a grade. I'll probably do it halfway through the course and then at the end of the course, so you know kind of where you are in terms of how I perceive your participation or your contribution to the discussion board. So there's some very clear detail relative to how I'm going to grade that particular part of the syllabus. That's all I got. Very short, very quick. I think I try to include as much detail as I could in this particular syllabus, so that you were very clear about what it is I'm going to expect. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.